Hello guys, it's me, Miss Sherman, and today I want to show you guys how to do your pumpkin paintings using value with the pencil. And as you can see here, I have the reference photo above to help me to see what I need to draw. You also need to have your reference photo in front of you, whether that's a paper photo reference or it's one of the printout, or you can just look at another device. It's important for you to look at the photo reference, not just copy what I am drawing from my drawing videos. Um, it's it's like you can look at an object and draw it, not look at a person drawing. And that's the whole point of you learning how to draw in Art 1 class, okay? And I'm going to draw small here just for the purposes of the video to get in enough information. But I want you to draw your pumpkin no smaller than your hand. So you can lay your hand down and put a line on both sides, left to right, and vertical up and down. And that's how big you need to draw your pumpkin so you can learn how to actually put in information that's important. And so what I'm noticing is that this pumpkin here is not really circular, it's more oval. And so what I would like, you to start off with is just the outer contour shape of your pumpkin. And that outer contour shape is actually the what? It's an oval. It's not a circle, and we can see that obviously in the pumpkin. Different pumpkins are shaped all different, and some have more of a circular look, and some have more of an oval look. So that's the shape that you are going to have. It's really cool how right now Walmart has a lot of these pumpkins set outside, and they're like $2.50 for a really big one. The more detailed ones that have all those textures in it, they cost a little bit more. And you can go there and look for one of the pumpkins that you like the most and purchase it if you have $2.50 and set it in front of you and actually draw what you see. And that's even better to have direct observation from an object. When you do that, that is called still life drawing, drawing exactly what you see from that object. Okay, and so what you can see here is I started with the outer contour line, and then I did the shape for the stem, which is a curved oval shape, and then on the tip is more of a square. So now we have what we call the contour line of the object, right? Then, as you notice, you can see that I'm drawing lightly because what I want to do is be able to come in with more detail to get the humps and the bumps of the pumpkin like it actually looks. So I did that back side, okay? And I can go in here and add this part, and that we see the curve of that pumpkin curves from the outer edge. And from this point is where I'm going to start really paying attention to what my reference photo looked like, or if you're painting the actual pumpkin, or drawing, excuse me, drawing the actual pumpkin, you're looking at that photo of the pumpkin, and you're looking from the pumpkin that's set in front of you. And some pumpkin lines on them are not as wide apart, like you can see here. Some of them are closer together. Some have many different lines, and some have fewer lines, or what we call the curved indentions of the pumpkin. As you see in this part here, it's shaped a little different, so we don't want to exclude that different shape. The point of drawing the pumpkin is to look at its texture, to look at the shape, the form, and the space of the overall shape of the pumpkin. not just drawing what you see in your mind about what a pumpkin looks like. You want accuracy. You want to show what a real life pumpkin looks like in real life, right? Not just drawing what you would do a cartoon pumpkin or a pumpkin that you learn how to do in elementary class school. You are a little more advanced, all right? You're a little more advanced. So we want to see that advancement in your actual art. Okay, so now I've taken my time and I pretty much have a lot of the contour shapes or even the bumps and the curves. Now I want to focus in on that cast shadow that I see that sits underneath the pumpkin and its angle. Okay, so I'm going to put exactly what I see and how it extends out in an angle, right? And then what I notice here is right directly under the cast shadow is a really value number 9. It's very dark, and it goes directly under the pumpkin. But I noticed one thing right there, okay? That value, and I'm going to lay my pencil to its side here like this, and I'm pretty much filling in the values from dark to light, the flat side of my pencil, filling it in, not trying to go too dark at first, especially on the transitional shadow. I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that I can leave room for getting darker, all right? And when I look at this here photo, it looks as though there's not a lot of blending, like using the stubbing stick or tissue paper to blend a lot. I noticed the grains of and the texture of the shading is exactly what it looks like here when I don't do that. So I'm going to put another layer right here, right under the pumpkin, so it shows a little more dark, right? And it's going to fade lighter. Now, in that faded light area, if I wanted to take my blending and blend, I could. But for this, I don't want to, okay? The reason so, I really want to see the textures of the flat part of the graphite, all right? And I'm going to keep going all the way up and over. And again, I'm still using the flat part of my pencil, and I am shading nice and neat in a circular style motion, and so on. I'm going to go on this other side here. I'm going to barely put some color there because I see there's a little triangular area of color. Now, I'm going to move into the table part. I'm going to go straight across. If you need a ruler to make sure that's even, you can get an even line with the ruler. And then I'm going to place that cast shadow that is on the wall. And so there's 2 cast shadows we notice, right? We see the cast shadow on the wall, and we see the cast shadow right down here on the table. And again, right up against the cast shadow and up against the object, you want it to appear darker, okay? So I might use the tip of my pencil slightly, okay? And then I will go darker with the side of that pencil. Nice and circular motion. Don't do this really long and scribbly. It just really doesn't give the appearance of neatness when you do that. Really taking your time, even if it takes you, this is due at the end of the week, even if it takes you some time to work on it each hour hour and a half that you should be in class, do that. I always tell you guys that if you are in art class at home between 9:54 and 11:20, you should actually be doing your artwork during that time. pretending that you are in class. And this will help you to stay on task with your art assignments and not feel overwhelmed as if you have to finish so much in so little time. If you try to be more flexible with your time during the weekday, sometimes it just don't work because you are waiting to the last minute to do so much, and flexibility becomes a chaos. And I noticed that you've noticed that as well because you're not utilizing the daytime hours that you have for the a specific class that you're given, okay, or that you're taking. Some of you chose Art 1. Some of you did not have a choice, but we need this as a credit. And I want you to be able to have a good grade, okay? Now, I'm going to leave this a really hard edge down at the bottom, soften this up just a little bit on the end. So, and then I can keep going. So this is literally how you should be shading your pumpkin drawings, okay? And paying attention to the shadows that you see and what value that shadow is. Is it a value 4? Is it a 3? Is it a 2? Is it a 1? Pay attention to that. Where you see a turn, curve going into a pumpkin on the edge, you always want to do that curve, but I also fade lighter so I don't have just a line of darkness. I fade that dark lighter as it goes away. Now, what if I get too dark right there? All right, no big deal. I take my eraser and I blend some of it away. Simple as that. I want the texture of my background to be different than my pumpkin. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to blend with a tissue or this stubborn stick for my background, but I am inside the pumpkin. I want you to see how that looks. See how much softer it looks when you're blending with the stubborn stick and not blending with the stubborn stick. So right there, we just created texture. Then I lifted some of that color out because it's way too much. And I can see up here, there's a light shining in that part of the pumpkin. All right. And then I'm going to keep going right over here on this edge. I'm going to get a little darker to separate the curve of the pumpkin in that area with the curve of the other pumpkin. Now, don't just go fast and fill all of this in with your pencil and then take your tissue and just smear all over it. That's not blending. That's you trying to hurry and do something that's really not working for you. Okay? Then take your tissue and then pull the values down from dark to light. Okay, I'm not going to go too far into that area there, but I do notice that there's a little more light right here separating between these two different lines. All right, now I'm going to keep going. Sometimes I can just take my stubborn tissue or whatever I have and put some color in that area first. Okay, and then blend the shadow where it goes, right? And pretty much this is how I want you to work on your pumpkin drawing. Hand size or a little bit smaller will be fine, but I don't want it so small like mine, okay? Take your time, get those values in. The reason I don't want it too small is I might be able to use your drawing in an art show that's coming up. You never know. And if it's too small like this, the impact is not as strong. Now, if it's small, a little bit larger than this, that's fine, but that means that you're going to have that detail and the values and the shading really, really good, okay? I hope this was very informational for you to complete your pumpkin drawing in pencil, showing cast shadows, value, transition, and texture. All right. If you have any question, please comment in the comment section box and turn this in on the due date, which is Friday. If you finish early, you can do one in color for extra credit. I have that video down below in the section as well. Bye bye.